part of the vision of what is Valuetainment, BDC is the pillar of that because it's the best operators from around the world. I literally say, screw an MBA. I have an MBA of BDC because it's one Patrick, right? Like right before this, I was in a meeting with Patrick and you're learning directly from someone who all the experience that he has, I believe is a true visionary, is going to do great for this world. He's one of those leaders. So having access to him, which is an extremely great privilege. The biz doc, learning from Tom. Tom's a wealth of knowledge. Like he really is brilliant. Having conversations with business owners like yourself all day, every day, processing issues. Like the person you're talking to today, although like I would like to say that I've always been interesting and like wanting to be a better version of myself. I mean, it's been exponential because of the environment that I've gone in. I mean, they say your environment, you're the average of the people you spend the most time with. That couldn't be further from the truth. And I'm grateful that that person is Patrick and Tom and these business owners. And it's exponential growth. And that's why I always say to anyone, and I give commandments to you, and like you're always investing in your team and you're being a part of these masterminds and going to these networking events, having higher level conversations, like that's what gets you to the next level. Not only from the information, but the frequency, like the energy that you're living at. Because like most people are like living here. Then you have the business owners, the big thinkers, they're up here. And if you're at that frequency, it's just a matter of time where you attract that into your life.
How much have you seen BDC Consulting grow since you kind of started? Because I know he's not ready to kind of take on they're not going to be playing at the same level as like Bain Capital or, right yet. Like it's going to take some time.
Yeah.
But what's the short-term vision for where BDC is going?
Yeah. And it's like big term real quick. We believe we will be the biggest consulting firm, and the difference between BDC and some of these other consulting firms is those giving advice to expert operators like Patrick, like Tom, Will Guidara, and many more to come. They haven't just read it in a book. You know what I mean? They don't just have an MBA. They have a real life experience of owning and operating businesses. So everything that they're sharing, they've done before, which is an edge, right? And what separates BDC from that, and where we see short term, the difference between BDC outside of just that is we have the community aspect. I mean, we have entrepreneurs from across the globe, over 150 different countries, that are tapping into this network where you can have relationship and build relationships with these individuals. That's huge. It's massive. Short term is really honing in on the community aspect when it comes to, because right now we have the masterminds, we have the coaching, with the one-on-ones and the events, but eventually we'll have the infrastructure, because you mentioned the growth. When I first started with the company, there were 7 of us in BDC, 26 of us in the company. Now we have 40 of us in BDC and 115 of us in the company. So there's a level of sequencing because you need the infrastructure, right? And the people and the supportive cast and all of that. But we're going to have the vault coming up here. 10,000 people there, business owners. What is that for? It's an incubator of community, business owners, ideas, operators, because the more you grow, the more your business grows, the more successful the idea of freedom, capitalism, it works, right? So first it's honing into Florida, then it's honing into the US. And when I mean honing in, like establishing our foundation, our building. We're growing out of the building, we can't even fit. Then we'll have pockets in the different BDCs across the US, then eventually the world. There'll be a vault in Dubai. There'll be a vault in Australia. There'll be a vault in Japan. And so we're spreading this idea of what it is to be an entrepreneur with shared values, shared principles, because you have BDC there. You have media side, which is the podcast, all of that. And 10, 15 years from now, when Patrick starts opening up universities, it's not just a teacher teaching the next generation. It's someone like Scott who's actually built something to teach the next generation.
With all the entrepreneurs and business owners that you talk to, what is like the biggest challenge or biggest challenges that you see? And how does BDC help them right now address those?
Yeah. Biggest, most common challenge is definitely people. Finding the right employees, finding the right people, and then like not only finding them, but keeping them. It's definitely the team. And that's across industries. It doesn't matter what industry, it's people. And where we help a lot, and where Patrick, Tom, and the other expert operators and everyone within our programs help, is finding different systems to find the right people. What do I mean by that? Asking the right questions, filtering up front. Oh, really? You do that? And sometimes it's very simple, right? But it's adding a few key questions. It's maybe where you're sourcing them at. It's maybe your interview process. Instead of 1 interview, you should be doing 3, and you should be doing it in a certain sequencing. Okay. Then once you bring them on, establishing and being able to identify they're in the right position. Do you promote within? Do you hire without? At what level? At the beginning stages, low 7 figures, even till within 5, 10, you're kind of like, you have loyal people. They've been with you a long time. So they've helped you. But then you hit that cap where it's like, okay, none of us have been a part of an organization at that level, where to get to the 20, 30, 50, 100 million, we need more of those specialized skills. Okay, so how do I attract them? And then it's building out the sequencing of it. It's helping identify the descriptions, the compensation. I don't want to, hey, like these people can be very expensive. Yeah, well, what if we create a compensation that's salary plus commission? There's more incentives to it. We'll break that down. What are you driving in your business? We're driving this. Okay, how do you tie that to the compensation? So it's a customized approach based off what the business is solving for. But the number one thing is people. Finding them, attracting them, keeping them, retaining them, building them. That's number one.